dark powers demand war on all civilization. The Cloven Ones answer the call. I am an emissary of such a cause, one that has spoken with brave shamans and knows their ways. I have sought out the One Eye, for his hatred of man reaches above all doors. He knows my scent and abides my presence. For now. Let us guide them to greatness. Show them where men are weak, lazy, unprepared. Azrak thirsts for vengeance, but a single soul is not enough to appease the ruinous powers. They want it all. Send forth the Gores. Let civilization be torn asunder. Let the endless hunt begin.
Hello guys, and welcome to a new series today by me, Vulcan. Today we are continuing after previously completing the Empire campaign on very hard difficulty, and today I'm moving on as promised to the Beastmen campaign. So let's jump into the Old World campaign once again. We're going to go straight for the Beastmen, and let's just read their text. So, Beastmen are creatures of chaos who destroy all they come across. Master ambushers, they use beast paths to entrap enemy armies. In battle, ferocious beast lords control the herds and many other monsters enthrall to their bestial majesty. The old world's forests are terrifying places where the children of chaos roam, lurking in the darkness. So the Beastmen, they have the Dark Moon, which is a powerful recurring event that provides significant bonuses to the Beastmen army. So after every so many turns, basically an event pops up where you can choose a bonus, generally something like replenish all your units or get loads of melee attack, or but there are sacrifices as well. Beast paths, basically similar to sort of the Wood Elves, I guess, where you can just sort of avoid impassable terrain, which is really useful. And we have an aggressive unit roster with a variety of fast moving beasts and monsters. We actually lack quite a lot of missile forces. We only have, I think, one type of missile force. I think we have the Ungor Raiders, and then we also have Cygors, but other than that we're pretty much short on range units. This is their background. If you would like to read it, then feel free, but let's just continue onwards to choose our lord. So it's quite a big difference in choice of lords when it comes to the Beastmen. Every Beastman lord starts in a different location. So for example, Kazrak starts in Astalia. He is the faction leader of the Beastmen, and he is a powerful melee fighter and leader. He can unlock the ferocious Razorgore chariot mount, which is awesome. He gets extra leadership when fighting against humans and extra income from raiding. He gets an additional starting units of Goreherd Minotaurs and another Goreherd unit there. Then we have Malagor, who starts in the Badlands, which is where the Greenskins are. He is a Bray Shaman with the Law of the Wild. He gets extra campaign map movement range, and he starts with a Giant, an Ungor Spearman Herb with shields, and Chaos Warhounds, this Giant being awesome for a starting point in the Badlands. So Malagar, pretty nice to start off with. But for our choice for the Beastmen in this campaign, we are going to be playing Morghur the Shadowgave. And he is a powerful melee fighter. He corrupts the world around him and has the powerful battle ability Spirit Essence of Chaos. So basically he's a chaos character, and we get extra upkeep costs for Minotaur units, but minus upkeep costs for Chaos Spawn units. So we're going to be using Chaos Spawn a lot in this campaign, and the great thing about that is we didn't actually use Chaos Spawn much in my Chaos campaign, so this will be a little bit of a change. We also gain access to Harpies from the start, and we also have some Chaos Warhounds with poison ability there. So we're not going to really see any Minotaurs. I might recruit a couple of units of them just to show them off, but other than that we will be focusing on Chaos Spawn. So we will be playing Morghur the Shadowgave. This is the background for Morghur. Feel free to pause that if you would like to read it. But let's jump in on very hard difficulty and start our new campaign.
Greetings to you, Morghur, eternal agent of change. You are reborn from chaos once again, that you may hasten the mutation of this world and bring ruin to its people. Man has ever been the true enemy of the Beastmen, Morghur, and none more so than the hated Empire. Descend upon their lands and bring down a fury that will shake the foundations of the earth. Yet there are others who would oppose you. The Wood Elves, hidden behind their sanctuary trees, have long stood in opposition to your goals. Twist their gnarled roots into unknowable agony. Let them know defeat. To the north, more men stand against you. They who call themselves Bretonians should be utterly crushed. Their glittering spires and dreams of chivalry brought to naught but rubble. You are Morghur, the Shadowgave, the Master of Skulls. Your time is now. Visit upon this world such horrors that generations yet unborn will scream in torment.
Welcome to the Beastmen campaign. So here we are, our first chapter objective issued, the Seeds of Hate. The Beastmen rise from their forests and their filth, frothing over with fury at the civilization of man. They clamour for blood. We've got to raise the following number of settlements, 4. Great. So, speaking of which, the blood there, we have, or I have, added the Blood for the Blood God DLC for this campaign. So we will be seeing plenty of blood and gore. Now, I didn't add this previously to the other campaigns because I kind of felt that thematically they don't really work in the Warhammer universe. Especially like considering like the tabletop game, you know, there's no gore on the tabletop campaign, not unless you like paint it on your figures. Like there's nothing like that. So like me playing as like the Empire, it just didn't feel right. But as the Beastmen, because they are so brutal and aggressive, I kind of felt like adding the blood and gore would be a good idea. So I have, and we are going to be seeing plenty of that in the battles, which I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing. I haven't even used it yet myself in any of my campaigns, so this is completely new to me as well. Now, before we begin, let's have a quick talk about what the Beastmen do and what we're going to do in the campaign. So first of all, we have the Dark Moon up the top here. Turns until the full moon is 7. I was talking about this briefly, but basically after those 7 turns we get a choice between a number of things that give us bonuses and also negative modifiers. Then we have technology over in the right. This is different to normal. So on the far right side we have a tree that basically increases our research rate and also our chaos corruption on all characters. This continues to a maximum of plus 100% research rate and plus 5 chaos corruption on all characters, which is insane. But it does cost a lot of money, as you can see. And you're probably wondering, why are they giving us extra research rate for free? Well, it's not for free, but you know what I mean. Well, on the left, you can see that our technologies actually reduce research rate as we research them. So basically, you've got to kind of have a balance between researching the researchers on the left and paying for the researchers on the right. So we're going to start off with Grizzly Trophies anyway, because we want the extra leadership when fighting against humans. Really good start for us, because we will be for the majority of the time be fighting against the Empire and the Empire provinces at the start of the game. All of the other ones I'll talk through as we go. Of course, in general, I have played a few preliminary campaigns, so basically I've done a run-throughs of the first like 20 to 30 turns really. I haven't really gone much further than that, and I haven't played the Beastmen to completion before, so this is going to be pretty new for me past around like turn 30 odd. But I have got the start nailed down pretty hard. I generally find the hardest part of the campaign to be the beginning, which is why I generally jump in and do a few testers, also just to get a feel for how they work. Now, another thing to mention is that we do have Bestial Rage, so this is very similar to the Greenskins in that basically by winning battles and raiding we increase our Bestial Rage to a point at 80 where we unleash a Bray Herd. And there's a lot like a Wa. It can be directed to wherever you want it to go, and it will destroy things for you. It can also reinforce you in battles, which is great, but you don't have direct control of it. If we reduce our Bestial Rage too much, we get attrition, a lot like the infighting from Chaos. Now, speaking of which, we don't get infighting from having our hordes close to each other, so we can do that, which is going to make things a lot easier as we progress through the game. And it is almost necessary because in general, like solo armies of the Beastmen do falter against like late game full armies of other nations. So yeah, we're gonna have to be careful in the late game, but we will hopefully have a lot of hordes by then. So let's get this underway. We're gonna start by moving Morghur 75% towards Middenheim, and then we shall encamp. And what we're going to do is recruit 2 Ungor Spearman Herd. We're going to get Gorot's Heartrender to move 75% towards Morghur, and he's going to recruit some Ungor Raiders. Okay, so that's our armies moved, our recruitment set. We're not going to construct any buildings yet. Now, all of the buildings as the Beastmen only take 1 turn to build, but they cost a hell of a lot of money. So we will be relying a lot on favour throughout the campaign, but you know, hopefully that will come easy once we start raiding. Either way, I think that's pretty much everything done, other than we can look at our objectives, which are to raise 50 settlements. So this should be relatively easy. We've got to earn 20,000 from raiding overall, which is again pretty simple. But then we have to destroy the Empire, all of the Empire provinces, Bretonia and the Dwarves for the long campaign victory, which is going to be pretty difficult, but we'll get there, I'm sure. And we will win the following battle, the Fall of Man, to win the campaign. So that's basically our objectives. That's pretty much everything discussed with the Beastmen. everything has been done for this turn, so let's move on to the next one. So I've done my research, obviously, as I usually do before I start a campaign. I have decided to keep it on very hard difficulty as opposed to going legendary, mainly because I don't like the whole legendary thing where you can't like save when you want to. It's kind of annoying, especially for when I'm recording and I get like game crashes and stuff, which I still get, unfortunately. So I haven't decided to go legendary. I believe the battle effects are still the same from very hard to legendary anyway. The only thing that changes is on the campaign map for legendary difficulty. I think maybe they get a few more men. Maybe the public order is a bit more difficult as well. I'm not entirely sure, honestly. But either way, for this turn, what we're going to do is we're going to have Goros Heartrender come over to Morghur. Going to go say hi. We're going to give all of his army to Morghur, and we are going to start the siege of Middenheim. So we're going to go for the Beastmen battering ram straight off the bat, and we are going to continue that siege with Beastmen siege towers queued up afterwards. Then what we're going to do is have Goros Heartrender go back into encamp stance and continue to recruit forces for us, and then we'll attack Middenheim and hopefully destroy that. So that's pretty much everything done. We're not really going to be using diplomacy much, hovering over that. There isn't really much to do here other than see who we're at war with, which is Argulon, the Wood Elves, Middenland and the Empire from the start of the game. Everybody else is generally quite neutral, but it definitely deteriorates very quickly. But that's all, so let's end the turn again. The thing is with the Beastmen, we will have quite a lot of skipped turns. But for now, we're okay. Let's just continue the recruitment here, that's absolutely fine. We need to keep Goros Heartrender away from Middenheim, mainly because we can't encamp if we are in range of an enemy force, because encamping makes you like invisible, like ambush stance kind of, and you obviously can't do that if you're in range of an enemy army already. Doesn't really make sense. Now the reason I put all of the forces into Morghur's army rather than Goros's is because Goros is an amazing melee fighter once you upgrade him. If we jump into his skills, we can see that under Manbane we can get plus 18 melee attack. Once he gets to level 5 we can start leveling that up, and once he gets to level 10 we can get Slug Skin, which increases his weapon strength to plus 20%. It's pretty damn crazy. So one more turn, and then we will use Goros's army to back up Morghur and destroy Middenheim. So another skipped turn. And Dark Choice available. The ruinous powers take grim pleasure in your endeavours. In their dark mirth they grant you a boon. Which of their gifts will you choose? So I think what we're going to do is recruit a Gorbel as opposed to a Brave Shaman, because Morghur is pretty strong himself. He's not a Brave Shaman, but I think a Gorbel would be more fun. Also the bonuses you can get from a Gorbel are pretty damn awesome. So if we jump here, like into the skills, you can see that we can get Unrelenting Warherd. Now this gives a passive ability around the Gorbel that increases like a stat. So in this case, melee attack, if you go for the strength of the land, you can get armor. But we're probably just going to go all out melee attack all of the time. So we can get the Unrelenting Warhead. You can only choose one or the other. And that can go up to plus 16 melee attack for all units around the Gorbel. Pretty crazy. Also, we can get the Best of the Beast or the Vast Unending Warherd. So we can either get reduction in recruitment cost up to minus 18% and extra unit experience for all unit recruits, or we can get extra leadership, which is also very good. But honestly, for this army, I'll probably go for minus recruitment cost and extra unit experience for all units, because I believe that's better overall and in the long run against extra leadership. So we can get leadership from other things, but let's get the Gorbel embedded in Morghur's army so that he can be used in the siege of Middenheim. And this turn we are going to move Goros into raiding stance, move into Middenheim, and basically destroy Middenheim. That's the plan. We have one tower and a battering ram, but here is our first battle. I'm looking forward to seeing the blood and gore effects. Let's quick save this and fight it on the battle map. And here we are. So, Boris Todbringer, sworn enemy of the Beastmen, is making his final stand in Middenheim already against Morghur. That's quite something. Let's get our battering ram and towers over here. They're pretty ugly looking siege towers. And so is the battering ram. Just a bunch of spiked wood, really. We will have all of our Ungor raiders start as far forwards as they can, because they will be used to pepper the walls with arrows. We will have our Ungor spearman herd remain behind. What I'm actually going to do is drop both of these siege towers. We're going to put Ungor herd in them because they are better on the walls. We do have some flying units, our harpies. And what I should probably do actually is show off these units for you, since we haven't seen any of them before. But here are the harpies, pretty ugly girls with their wings there and their lovely sharp talons. Then we have the Chaos Spawn, of course. These are very similar to the Chaos Spawn of Chaos, obviously. Except from they are basically mutated Minotaurs, and they are very, very ugly. Then we have, of course, the Chaos Warhounds with poison effects. We have our Ungor herd. So there's a bunch of Ungors with axes and shields. We have our Gorbel, who is absolutely massive, and his axe is just as big. Then our Ungor spearman herd, just Ungors with spears. And then our Ungor raiders, which are Ungors with bows. And they are also hidden until they fire, so that's useful. So the plan here is just to put one tower either side of the gate, and we will have the battering ram knock down the gate itself. Right, let's get our Ungor raiders to move up into range. And what we're going to do is have our Beastmen or Ungors just run up as quickly as they can towards the walls. We'll have these Ungor herd move behind the battering ram. We'll have the Chaos Warhounds spread out on the far right. We'll also have the Chaos Spawn move up on the right there as well. The Harpies can move and attack the enemy on the walls very shortly. We'll have the Gorbel move up to the gate. Let's get the extra Ungor raiders into range. I'm just going to pause it a sec because we need to move these Ungor raiders slightly further forwards. We'll probably go actually quite a bit further forwards with these Ungor raiders attached. There we go, we'll do that. Then we'll have these 4 units move up with Goros Heartrender coming towards the gate as well. We also need to move up Morghur, so let's do that. And we do have the Spirit Essence of Chaos. We can spawn Chaos Spawn units, which is pretty awesome. Basically, we target units specifically to use that. All of my raiders should start firing away shortly. One of our siege towers actually got wrecked, so it looks like we may have to climb the walls. But at least our Ungor raiders are now firing away. Hopefully they are all in range to do damage. The swordsman taking a lot of damage there. Great stuff. So our Gorball getting ready to charge through into the spearmen awaiting. What we're going to do is have our Chaos Spawn move to the center gate. The Chaos Warhounds can run through there soon as well. But here come our units. Let's see if we can find any of these new gory details. It's already blood everywhere on the walls. But hopefully we'll see some killing blows. The gates have been destroyed. So what we're going to do is charge through our Gorball and just watch what happens. Here he comes. Epic stuff. Morghur's going to join us. We're going to have these Ungor Spearmen herd come through. We'll have the Chaos Spawn and Chaos Warhounds come through. Let's get the rest of these men on the walls. Get these guys up the tower. I'm going to make sure that the Ungor Raiders move forward slightly. And we're going to make sure they are all in range to fire. So these spearmen shouldn't last very long at all, honestly. You can see already that Gorball doing a spectacular job. Just took off that guy's arm. Just gonna do a front roll through the units, of course, why not? Okay, what we're gonna do is have these Ungor spearmen come off the walls, probably charge up and attack the swordsman there. With the archers firing away, you can see that we are taking out quite a few units here. Alright, let's charge into the back of those sword infantry. Try and completely surround them. Great stuff. We haven't actually used the harpies. Completely forgot about them. Either way, Chaos Spawn having fun against the spearmen here. What we're going to do is use this ability once we can. Probably can't use it on the walls though, unfortunately. So we're going to have to make sure we're doing enough damage. Let's take on Boris Todbringer. We'll get the Chaos Spawn to kill those spearmen for him. The harpies can actually come down and help us out. I think they're pretty much finished on the wall, picking apart the swordsman there. Right, let's try and spawn some units, some chaos spawn. We can only do it on a lord. Okay, cannot target if greater hit points than 20% or units as a lord or hero. Okay, so we can spawn them here. Right, there we go, finally. So that will give us some more chaos spawn. Let's make sure that our men are continuing to charge up here. I'm going to grab all of my forces and tell them to charge towards the centre square now. And what we're going to do is have all our Ungor raiders that have missiles left take up the walls. The ones that don't have missiles left can run forwards and attack. Because they do have a relatively good melee attack and melee defense for a ranged unit. Let's get Morghur to finish off this sword infantry unit. Looks like those guys are already regretting fighting. Morghur just absolutely wrecking them. How's the Gorball doing? Absolutely wrecking units by the looks of things. The Chaos Spawn just frenzying through the enemy right now. And this is sure to cause a chain rout. That is victory. Middenheim is ours and will soon be razed to the ground. A close victory. We're getting some nice dripping blood from the loot gained and so on, thanks to the Blood and Gore DLC. Got a lovely 114 troops killed and captured on the Gorball, which is pretty crazy. But there we have it. We are going to raise and defile Middenheim, because for one turn that gives us plus 100 chaos corruption in the local region, an extra plus 8 horde growth. Horde growth is always useful. Buildings do require quite a lot of extra horde growth. But we got the other Trickster's Shard from an enchanted item for Goros, which is nice. And we got a lot of Bestial Rage for that. Fantastic. So for Morghur, what we're going to do is probably go for Gargantuan Hooves for the extra campaign map movement range from the start. Goros Heartrender for this turn can remain in raiding stance. So with that done, we should spread Chaos Corruption very quickly in Middenland. We can probably destroy Middenland entirely, and then we can carry on to our next opponent. I think the key being in this campaign is that we fight nations or factions one by one. But in the meantime, guys, that has been my time. So we are going to have to leave it here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the introduction to the Beastmen campaign. We've already made good ground into destroying Middenland, so we shall continue to do so in the next episode. But in the meantime, that's all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.